Gabriel Jones here, giving you a drop of sun any chance I get. And today, we have another Grammy stream, part 2. This stream will be focusing on the Record of the Year category, as well as visual media and the rock categories. Today, we are joined by Ryan.
Hi there.
And we are also joined by InvincibleBoris.
What's up?
Hey. So how you guys doing today? You doing well?
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good.
Nice. So there was a really big technical difficulty that happened last time, where apparently I didn't put my microphone on, and I feel like the biggest idiot in the world because I didn't check the mixer to see if I really connected it, and so unfortunately I couldn't upload the stream to YouTube. But I think I'm just going to quickly recap what happened last time. So last time it was me, Boris, and One Shotty who talked about Song of the Year and the R&B and dance categories. And after tallying it all up, we realized that our third option to win was I Can't Breathe by Her. Our second option was Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish. And then our first option was Circles by Post Malone. And then we sort of dug into the R&B categories. We talked about Beyonce possibly winning and John Legend possibly winning. And then for the dance categories, we said that Kaytranada was probably going to sweep the whole thing. So that's what happened last time. So drop my pencil. So this time around, we are going to be talking about Record of the Year, visual media, and rock. So you guys ready?
Sure.
All right, cool. So let's give me a second. So on the screen we have our nominees for this year's Record of the Year. So we have Black Parade by Beyonce, we have Colors by Black Pumas, Rockstar by DaBaby featuring Roddy Ricch, Say So by Doja Cat, Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish, Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa, Circles by Post Malone, and the Savage remix by Megan Thee Stallion featuring Beyonce. Got a pretty interesting batch of nominees here. But
Are we allowed to say Savage?
Yeah, see, that's kind of something I've realized. There's kind of been the whole like discourse going around I've seen briefly of where, like people are questioning whether it's appropriate to say the word since it's like tied to a history of like racism against indigenous people. I think that's what I've been seeing a little bit of myself.
I think you're breaking up on my end.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So I think I read like the term is sort of like tied to like a long standing history of racism against indigenous people, but I guess for the sake of this stream, I think we'll just refer to it as the song by Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce. How about that?
Yeah, it works with me.
All right,
cool. All right, so first off in this wonderful batch of nominees, which, like I said before, doesn't feel the same without Abel. That's my shirt. We have the Beyonce song Black Parade. What do you guys think of this track?
Well, hang on. I want to see which ones were also nominated for the other category, Song of the Year. Okay, so what I said about Black Parade last time was, I guess I respect it more than I actually like it.
Yeah.
All right. Let me bring up my thing here, because, yeah, a lot of what I said about Black Parade last week in the thing I gave to you, most of that pretty much stands. I do respect it more, like, as a song than personally, like, something that I kind of, like, go out and listen to all the time. I do understand completely what this song means for the community and everything, because, well, you can't really talk about 2020 without talking about the whole Black Lives Matter movement and everything, with Black Parade being one of the headlining songs for it.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, So yeah, as a song more like representing the thing, I do what it represents for the community and what it means to them. So yeah, really more of a song that I can like respect more than a song I think I like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what this is? This is the musical equivalent of a movie. It's like you're not really meant to watch it as like have fun with it or anything like that. You're supposed to just like watch it in film class and analyze it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I pretty much agree with that completely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had a fair number of movies where I've had to watch in film class. Not really like watching like for a good time, but to just really like delve into its like substance.
You know what's funny? I did watch Aliens in my film class.
Mm.
That was a great time. But
With Sigourney Weaver, right?
Yes.
Mm. Was that the one directed by? Didn't James Cameron direct the second one, and then?
It was Ridley Scott, then James Cameron, then I think David Fincher did the third. But I watched the James Cameron one.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That definitely sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
I remember what was that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? The one where they kidnap his daughter and he travels across the country to get her back or something?
True Lies?
No, not that one.
Although I feel like we're getting off topic.
Yeah. Right. Beyonce. I do have a few
Arnold
notes.
Schwarzenegger, his daughter Beyonce is kidnapped.
His daughter Beyonce is kidnapped.
Oh my gosh.
I did take a few notes on some of the production elements. I really like the intense bass, the way it just sort of like, in your face. And then I love the chants in the background. The flute they add in, because they made sure to add in a lot of like African music influence, because it's a song about Beyonce reconnecting.
That's the point of the song.
Yeah, it's a song about Beyonce reconnecting with her African roots and encouraging her audience to do the same. The beehive, if you would call it. And and I just love the joy and pride that she sort of like sings the track with, because it is like it's acknowledging like the amount of work that America needs to put in if we're going to limit the amount of racial injustice that goes on in society. But like she's doing it with like a lot of like optimism and pride, and I can't really fault her for that.
Yeah, neither can I really, because it really is that much harder for the black community and everything, just being constantly like judged for everything and everything they like do and like that. So for a song like of that measure, you really can't fault her for making a song like that to represent all of that.
Yeah, it's more of like a joy. It's more of like a joyous chant, rather than like an angry chant, But anyway, I think we've covered Beyonce's Black Parade enough. Let's move on to Colors by Black Pumas.
I don't remember how the song goes.
I don't either.
Oh God.
Here's the thing: it's a good song and a good album, but I don't remember anything from it except from there was this like one song on the deluxe edition that was like a cover of Eleanor Rigby.
Yeah, they had a few.
I remember it had that.
Yeah, I remember...
That's really the most notable thing about it, I think.
Yeah, and I remember they did have a few covers on there, but I think we'll talk more about that once we get to Album of the Year. But for Colors, yeah, I'm sort of blanking myself on how exactly the song went, but some of the notes I had were the haunting backup vocals, the bluesy electric keyboard, the way Eric Burton, the lead singer of the group, he sings with so much passion in his voice, and it's sort of like that dark acoustic guitar at the beginning, because they are sort of like meant to be like a more bluesy kind of duo, But other than that, I can't really remember that much about what the song is. If I remember correctly, it's supposed to be a song about him sort of like seeing all the colors, so-called, in everyday people and like all the people he like passes by when he goes about his like day. and he just sees like how unique they are and how special they are, and how that just fills him with so much joy. But that's my best estimation of what the song was. I am kind of blanking on it. I don't entirely blame you guys, but I guess the production was pretty decent.
From what I can remember, the best part of it, from what I can remember, was the production and just some of the elements about it. So yeah, I definitely agree with you there. And well, a lot of it that pretty much you said already.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we could just move on from there. Rockstar by DaBaby and Roddy Ricch. This is a song we know.
Well, I mean, it was one of the biggest hits of last year.
I think it finished.
I mean, it was nothing special. It was only the 5th biggest song of 2020.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Number 5. Right. Finished at number 5. That's like damn impressive. And yeah, and the melodic guitar, the whole like thing that like the sort of like the
the acoustic guitar loop.
Yeah. And then the relaxing vocals that they both give, DaBaby and Roddy, that's really fun to listen to. Of course, DaBaby always, like, as per usual, he like just spits rhymes with such like rapid fire, It's like it's hard to even sometimes you have to like really keep up with what he's saying, but like he has just such good diction that he makes it work, He just finds ways to squeeze in certain words into certain verses. It's just very impressive.
I'll be honest, I can say a lot of what I pretty much said about Black Parade and copy and paste it here, because it's pretty much the same thing, with the whole being like connected to the whole community and everything. But I do appreciate, however, I can appreciate it being like trying to like bite it like down, make it more like mainstream friendly, and just make it just that kind of accessible to actually be like one of the biggest songs of the year. Like this was a number 1 hit.
Yeah, and it's really really awesome that it actually like was a very sustainable number 1 hit, especially in a year where like you could just release a remix with anybody and like boom, you're at the top spot. So to have it actually like spend multiple weeks at number 1, just props to them.
Yeah.
Boris, do you have any thoughts?
Not really.
Okay. Well, anyway, that is anyway, anything else I wanted to say? I love the way Roddy Ricch's vocals sort of like escalate the track, the way he sort of like reaches new pitches to really give it that climactic feel. The bouncy
I'll be honest, Roddy actually used to be my least favorite part of the song, because it actually made it kind of feel like he was like breaking up the atmosphere of it, anything and all of it. Like, you have this whole kind of sentiment about it being like what DaBaby will do like for his family and friends and all of that, and here just comes Roddy in here like normally like brags, money, cars, like it all normally is. It actually kind of used to be my like least favorite part of the song, but it doesn't bother me as much as it used to.
Oh, that's good.
I'm still confused on how like that part of it grew on me, because originally like at the time I'm not sure if it was like at the time I submitted my rankings I had it like at an 8 or a 7, but yeah, for some reason the song doesn't bother me. That part of it doesn't bother me anymore.
No, that's good. Yeah. I mean, like I think when you really like, I guess he's just like one of those rappers that sort of like grows on you. Like The Box kind of grew on me a little bit, and I guess it just happened. That it just happens with some artists. And then and I think that's everything I wanted to say about Rockstar. So next up on our list is Doja Cat's Say So. Doja Cat's
the original?
Yes, we're talking about the original, not the Nicki Minaj version that everyone seems to despise with their hearts.
Well, so Sean Fay Wolf mentioned in his Worst of 2020 video, I'm sure you've seen this already, but for the benefit of anyone who hasn't, he pointed out that there was actually an original version of this remix that wasn't released, but it got leaked, and Nicki's verse is actually better than it
Okay.
is on the like officially released remix.
Okay. That's kind of
Fair
interesting.
point. Fair point there, because yeah, I actually have heard that it eventually did later get released to like streaming services proper. For some reason, you can only find it in a clean version. There's no explicit version of it for some reason.
Hmm.
But yeah, it Nicki's verse actually does fit better there. Why was that never the version that took off?
Well,
Yes.
if you believe Sean Fay Wolf, it was to compete with a song that we're going to be talking about later in this category.
Hmm. Okay. I see. This is kind of interesting. But let's see. The notes I took. So yeah, we got a nice funky bass. Doja's gentle falsetto on the chorus and first verse is it's very sort of like fitting with the whole like roller rink type track. I always like whenever I hear this tune, I always think of like roller rinks for some reason. Like I just see a bunch of people just skating around the roller rink with the disco ball just spinning, and everyone's just having a good time. Like
I feel like that was the intended vibe.
yeah, yeah. This is like it's definitely like roller rink music.
Mhm.
The hypnotic electric guitar, and then of course the rapping on the second verse. Like the way she just sort of like vocalizes the first time around, but then just really like raps. But like the rapid rhymes. It just like it's such an earworm.
Yeah.
The instrumental drowning out in the outro was also pretty nice. But yeah, it was also kind of interesting to see this track gain momentum, in a year where it seemed like everyone was making retro hits, from the 70s, from the 80s, and this was one of the biggest songs to capitalize on that trend. So, of course, the person who arguably began this trend is someone we're going to be talking about somewhere further down the stream, but I digress. So, that's all we have to say for Say So. Then we have Billie Eilish's Everything I Wanted, which...
I think everything we said about it in the Song of the Year discussion still holds.
Yeah, it's a wonderful tune about Billie Eilish talking about her struggles with fame and, how much it really, like, feels very kind of like, straining at times and, and at worst, it makes her feel very...
just copy and paste everything just copy and paste everything I gave
Yeah,
you last week here.
Just put like Billie Eilish's liability.
Billie Eilish's liability, yes. Oh, yeah, I love that description. But yeah, in terms of production, I just said it's a very calming yet unnerved. Yet Billie gives like a very calming yet unnerving performance. The beat is really soft. The intense bass during the chorus. The drowning effect when she says, "My head is underwater," but my head was underwater. Yeah, that was just like pure genius, And Phineas just, he just kills it with that production, And
this was another one that actually took a little bit of time to like grow on me and everything, and just I never did get it like at first, but as it like simmered on me a little bit, it just kind of like came through and everything, and now it does kind of like complete now. I'm not sure what it was about it before.
Well, just there are certain songs that just grow on you naturally, and you begin to realize like the brilliant message behind them. I actually had that same feeling with East Side by Benny Blanco, Khalid, and Halsey. At first I didn't really like. I thought it was just a bland tune, but then like I started to see more people talk about it and the message behind it. And I really started to feel it after a while, and now I listen to it like on a regular basis. It's just I think it's a purely genius track now.
Does the gold medal mean it's our combined pick completely for what we think is going to take away the award?
Yes, and I meant to save that for the end, but another mistake. This time, it wasn't the audio. It was just I just forgot to
Well, here's what I want to say about that. Is it what we think is going to win or what we think should win?
I think it's like a combination of both. Yeah, it's kind of like our overall predictions, our overall feelings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, that was Billie Eilish, and "Don't Start Now" is up next on the list.
We already talked about this in Song of the Year. Again, same things apply. Great song.
Great song. Love how the intro builds up and then just drops. It has a really, it's very heavily reliant on like the bass guitar, especially like on the verses.
That's an awesome bass part.
Oh yeah,
so.
Like I think Ian Kirkpatrick is the producer on this one, and he just did a really nice job. Like holy crap.
Don't think I recognize that name.
I think he's worked on a few big
tracks. Since I'm actually here in person this week, I think I'll go ahead and actually give a little bit more than what I actually gave last week to you for it. I actually do appreciate this, like, being the build-up to the start of the album, just how good, like, Dua's production work is, just how she is, like, all over the song, just in general. And just I kind of, like, think that for the lead off of like an era like this, it kind of was a strong step forward, and I do actually appreciate that forward. Now, while I wouldn't call it the best thing on Future Nostalgia, I mean, Love Again and Break My Heart and Physical are all right there.
Physical is just amazing.
As like a standout track to actually begin the era, I actually do appreciate it.
Okay.
And I do think she did a good job with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like spectacular, She broke the best new artist curse. Let's see. Dua saying, I love her confidence and force. I love the people talking in the background. The orchestra after the second verse is just phenomenal. Yeah, production-wise, it's a great track, and I think it has a good chance of winning. Up next is Post Malone's Circles. And last week, this was the song we said was going to win Song of the Year for lyrical content. Production-wise, I think it still really holds up too. The melancholic guitar, the sad bass, the way that Post Malone holds his notes on the chorus, that just works so well. But do you guys have any other thoughts?
I actually did hold off a lot of my thoughts last week because as a song like for Song of the Year, I honestly don't think it.
Oh, I think you cut out a little bit there. Ryan, you still there?
Put it there with your taxes and put it in with your mom.
Let me try that again. Yeah, let me try that again. I did hold off a lot of my thoughts for this last week because I do think Circles is more fitting for like a song overall representing record of the year, more so that it is Song of the Year. Because can we be honest with ourselves for a second? Do we honestly pay attention to Circles and what's being like said on the song, or do we vibe more with the atmosphere of it?
I would say probably the atmosphere, I always thought that like songwriting wise, while it does have a great chorus, I don't think the verses are really particularly that strong.
Yeah. And honestly, in a way, I kind of do feel the same. Sure, I do pick up like some of what's being said on the song sometimes, but just overall, kind of more like a vibe song more than anything, and it really just does work that way, like as a chill, like relaxing song to just put on and just kind of get lost in.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I even remember when Todd was talking about it in his best of 2019 video. He said he liked the atmosphere, I think, a lot more than say like the lyrical content. He always thinks of it as like him. He always thinks of this image of him just driving on the cliffside with the sun setting, and and he just has his imaginary wife.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's enough about Circles. Now we get to the Megan Thee Stallion song with Beyonce, and
I don't know if I ever heard this in full.
You never heard the whole remix in full?
I mean, I've heard the important parts when Todd talked about it in his best list.
Okay. Well, for the notes I got for this one, I said, I really like the baritone piano that just really, they really put a lot of emphasis into, and, the moaning sound effect is wonderful. Megan raps with such ferocity. The bouncy bass and Beyonce switching between singing and rapping, and she just raps perfectly on beat, it's so infectious, I just can't get enough of it.
I'll be honest, I have never went out of my way to listen to the remix of this once. I mean, I do appreciate for the times I've had to hear it that I do appreciate what they did with the song and everything and Beyonce's additions to it, but just as a remix, I just don't understand why this was created in a way. I mean, you have a perfectly good original that just Megan's shredding all over the song. It kind of has the party and the energy of it, and just the original was perfectly fine, but every time I've heard the remix, I just felt like it was a stretched out version of a song that didn't need to be stretched out at all. I mean, Megan's still fine. Beyonce's incredible on it. I honestly think she steals the show of the remix, but I just don't still understand why it was created in a way.
Okay. Yeah, I can vibe with that. Boris, any thoughts?
Not really.
Okay. So anyway, that is everything we wanted to say about Record of the Year. So as you can see on the screen, which I did not save till the end, we have the medals for each song we're predicting is gonna possibly gets the award. So for third place, we had "Don't Start Now" by Dua Lipa. Second place went to "Circles" by Post Malone, and then first place went to "Everything I Wanted" by Billie Eilish. It seems like
it's interesting. Unlike the Song of the Year category, this one actually doesn't have any songs I would call outright terrible.
Yeah, neither would I. Because last time we had "If the World Was Ending" with JP and Julia, which nobody likes.
I'll be honest. The song I care about the least, "Say So," it really isn't even that bad.
Yeah.
Besides the fact of that OG version being out there and somehow being better than both "Say So" and the official remix combined, I really got nothing for it.
Yeah, I can feel that. So anyway, we are done with Record of the Year. So now, what do you say we move on to the best song recorded for visual media?
Sure.
All right. So, let me just pull up the Okay, so I think I remember the nominees for this one are "Beautiful Ghosts" performed by Taylor Swift for Cats. "Carried Me With You" from Onward, performed by Brandi Carlile. We have "Into the Unknown" from Frozen 2, performed by Idina Menzel and Aurora. "No Time to Die" for the new James Bond movie, performed by Billie Eilish. And "Stand Up" from Harriet, performed by Cynthia Erivo. I think I'm saying her name right. Let me just see. Okay, so I just want to make sure.
So I guess I'll start this off. I've heard three of these out of the selection.
Okay.
I have never heard "Carried Me With You." I have never heard "Stand Up" at all.
Okay.
You know what's funny? I heard all 5 of them in preparation for this. I don't remember a single thing about them.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even without the knowledge of Carry Me With You or Stand Up, I still think there's a clear run out winner here with No Time to Die, basically just running away with the whole thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
And honestly, I would not blame the Grammys at all if it did run away with it.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest though, I'm still upset that No Time to Die flopped. Like
Yeah,
I mean,
Wait, it did? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the charts. But oh, that's a shame. I like that song.
yeah, it was really good too, and I think she really fits with the atmosphere.
Yeah, I think it had 1 week in the top 20, and then just basically nosedived.
You know what it was? You know what it was? I think because the movie got delayed, people just stopped caring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably it.
I was gonna say because Everything I Wanted was still there at the time.
Mm-hmm. That too.
But even with that, I honestly always thought it was just kind of like a pretty special ballad in general. And honestly, for me, it is one of Billie Eilish's standout tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So I still am kind of confused as to how it basically did nothing.
Yeah. I mean, and she fits with the atmosphere perfectly too. You know, like she's very like soft but dramatic. You know, like and that's always how her music has been designed too. So, I mean,
I still wouldn't discount the Frozen song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They love Robert Lopez and his music. So,
actually, all three of the ones I am still shocked, kind of like failed on the charts in general.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift. How in the heck did that not take off?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why a song from Cats probably wouldn't connect with so many people.
Yeah, that would probably play a part in it.
But, you know, it's just kind of funny because, like, you know, like, even though the release got canceled, you know, Billie Eilish, it appears, may have gotten a free Grammy.
Essentially.
Yeah, so.
Potentially.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so I think Billie Eilish is probably going to get this one. If not, it's probably going to go to Frozen, too. Idina Menzel and Aurora.
Still is kind of special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again, the only thing that still surprised me is for being the big title song for it, it basically failed on the charts in its year, which kind of surprised me because Aurora is actually pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
Idina Menzel is giving a great performance as she usually does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like her vocals like really sore, you know. But anyway, yeah, so consensus, Billie Eilish, if not Idina Menzel. So I think we'll just discuss the rock categories now. Boom. We got Fiona Apple, Brittany Howard, Phoebe Bridgers, Tame Impala, Big Thief, and Grace Potter on the screen right now.
The Grammys have a very interesting idea of what rock is. Like, yes. I'm not going to deny any of these artists or songs are rock, but like, there's a whole bunch of other rock bands that are like popular on the Billboard mainstream rock chart, and I was expecting, you know, maybe one of them to get some kind of attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone on Twitter is like, "Where's Panic at the Disco?"
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, first off, for Best Rock Performance, we have Shimika by Fiona Apple, Not by Big Thief, Kyoto by Phoebe Bridgers, The Steps by Haim, Stay High by Brittany Howard, and Daylight by Grace Potter. I would say my top three favorites would have to be Not, Kyoto, and Daylights. But if I had to like make a definitive choice, it would probably have to be Not by Big Thief. I just love like the chaotic atmosphere that they build like throughout the track, and like the sort of climax that it reaches. You know, it just, you know, it just really makes you feel lost, you know, and kind of like makes you feel like turmoil, and you know. Do you guys have any predictions for that one?
Not really.
Okay.
Prediction wise, I would probably have to say, if only because the Haim sisters are also up for Album of the Year, probably the Steps.
Okay.
But I can honestly make that same argument for Kyoto, since Phoebe Rogers is also up for New Artist of the Year. So probably one of them.
All right. Not a bad prediction. Okay, so then Best Metal Performance. I actually took the time to actually listen to all of these. Bum Rush, Body Counts, Underneath by Code Orange, The In-Between by In This Moment, Blood Money by Poppy, and Executioner's Tax, Swing of the Axe, live performance by Power Trip. I'm probably going to go with Body Counts, and I was actually intrigued by this one because apparently that's a band fronted by Ice-T.
Wait, the Ice-T?
Ice-T, yes. Ice-T, Law and Order, Ice-T.
Believe it or not, he is not the only rapper who dabbles in metal.
Who else is it?
Terry B.
Okay.
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice. Okay. But I was just so surprised to find that like he actually like fronts a metal band.
I mean, rap metal is a thing.
Yeah, I know that, but like I just never like how did I like never learn about this? Like I'm just surprised. It's like I've been living under a rock.
I guess this whole rappers going in the direction of rock music kind of like started a long time ago, apparently.
Mm-hmm. And you know, it's also kind of been picking up a lot recently with Machine Gun Kelly, you know, deviling in punk rock. You know, you have
obviously the biggest example, and probably the best direction his career's ever taken.
Yeah, I would say like if there's anything Killshot did to MGK, it like completely like deconstructed his rap persona, you know, and sort of like forced him to migrate into the punk pop scene, you know. But honestly, I think that's for the best, you know, like. His albums are still doing...
Which is strange because the last two times M has beefed with major people, it ended in the destruction of their careers.
Mm-hmm.
Ja Rule fell off the face of the earth after M beefed with him, and the only time we see Mariah Carey every now is when she comes back for Christmas time.
Right. Yeah, and Ja Rule's now most famous for
Cannabis.
I'm sorry, what?
Cannabis,
yeah, okay.
Also, I think he like dissed Norah Jones once.
Who, Eminem?
Yeah. So this was after she won like all those Grammys for "Come Away with Me" and beating Eminem, who had put out the Eminem Show and "Without Me" in like one or two categories. So I guess it was like jealousy.
Oh god.
But
oh jeez. Yeah, I was kind of always...
But, I mean, she's still out there, you know, making stuff. Like, she put out an album last year that I have on vinyl, and it's really good.
All right. Yeah, I might have to give it a listen.
I'll have to check that out.
But you have people like MGK, Ian Dior, who has been really blowing up, like, within the, like, last year, you know, especially with the Mood track going to #1. Shout out to 24 Karat Golden. And then you have a few other people, you know, just like, you know, really like dipping their toe into rocky music, you know. But yeah, I'm very intrigued to see where this direction goes. And then best rock song, we have Kyoto performed by Phoebe Bridgers, Lost in
I thought it was pronounced Kyoto, but okay.
Is it Kyoto?
Did we ever make a consensus on best metal performance?
Oh yeah. Sorry about that. Do you guys have anything to say about metal performance?
They're all okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Metal is not my thing.
I forgot I Disagree came out last year, honestly, but it is I do remember it being really good.
Okay.
Yeah, metal is not my thing. I do not know any of these songs. I guess probably if I had to pick someone, maybe Poppy because of how huge she is, but I'll be honest, I know none of these.
Okay. No biggie. And then Kyoto by Phoebe Bridgers is up for Best Rock Song. And then we have Lost in Yesterday by Tame Impala, Not by Big Thief, Shamika by Fiona Apple, and Stay High by Brittany Howard. I'm probably going to go with Kyoto by Phoebe Bridgers. I kind of like how very personal that song is, like the amount of detail she puts into it, like sort of like, documenting her time performing in Japan and, the relationship she has with her loved one. Yeah, which is kind of weird because, like, both Not and Kyoto are competing for performance in performance in song. But, I think one is more strong in terms of production, but the other is more strong in terms of lyrics.
That's fair.
Okay. Do you guys have any predictions for that one?
I would also go with Kyoto as well.
Mm-hmm. Boris?
I don't really have a strong opinion.
Okay. And then lastly, best rock album, the ones who close out this stream. We have A Hero's Death by Fontaines DC, Kiwanuka by Michael Kiwanuka, Daylight.
I thought it was Kiwanuka or something like that.
Kiwanuka. Wait, what is it?
I thought it was Kiwanuka.
Is it Kiwanuka? Okay, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Okay.
I can look it up if you want.
Okay, yeah. You can do that while I'm reading these off. We also have Daylights by Grace Potter, Sound and Fury by Sturgill Simpson, and The New Abnormal by The Strokes. All right, so I'm gonna have to go with Grace Potter on this one for Daylights. I just love the sort of like Janis Joplin influence that she has throughout the record. The way she just sort of screams the vocals and how bombastic the production is. And you guys may not know this, but I actually did attend a social distancing concert with Grace Potter last summer in my hometown.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was actually kind of interesting because they gave us like they like what they did was that they sort of like drew little boxes in the grass to like for people to like camp out inside of because like this is your assigned box, make sure to not invade anyone else's box, and yeah, we just sat down and enjoyed ourselves, and then we just listened to some music from Grace Potter. And and I remember some people complaining about how on Twitter I've seen some people complain about how annoying that is, but then some people are like, "Bitch, I've been waiting my whole damn life to sit down at a concert."
Let me take another look at the list here. Okay. Hero's Death, Kiwanuka, and Daylight. Honestly, I wasn't really feeling them. They're good, but like A Hero's Death kind of gave me like Sonic Youth vibes.
Yeah, it has a very classic feel to it,
Yeah, and then Grace Potter. Grace Potter's a good singer, but she was just never able to click with me.
Okay.
But the other two, Sound and Fury and The New Abnormal, those I remember being just blown away by Sound and Fury.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone remembers. Sturgill Simpson was actually nominated for Album of the Year back in for the 2016 eligibility year.
Yeah, and that was
the year that 25 by Adele won.
Yes.
He was nominated for this album that's really good, actually.
Okay.
I actually kind of prefer to 25.
Yeah, 2016 was not a very strong year for music.
Yeah, I would have loved for Sturgill Simpson to run away with it that year, but when you have an album like 25, there is no
it's Adele. It's pretty obvious. It's not like the acclaim is unwarranted, but
right. So we got Sound and Fury, and then Ryan, do you have any choices?
If I had, I guess I'll go with Sound and Fury as well.
Okay.
Sturgill is an interesting singer and all of that, and I do appreciate him.
All right. I like those picks. Well, anyway, I think that's everything we were planning to cover for today. We went through Record of the Year, we went through Visual Media, and we covered everything in the rock categories. So I think this is where we will sign off. So I hope you guys had a very, very fun stream. Boris, Ryan, thank you so much for joining me with this awesome discussion.
Thank you
No
for having us.
problem.
No problem. All right. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and you guys stay safe out there. All right.
You too.
The sun
Peace.
may be setting, but I hope you were able to soak up those drops. So I'm Gabriel Jones, and I'm signing off. See you later.